Hello, my young Jedi. So today we're going to be looking at our new memory verse for this week. All right, so we're going to read through it, then I'm going to explain to you what it means, and then we'll do some repeating back and forth to practice it, okay? So let's start off with the reference. This is found in the book of Romans. Romans was written by our friend Saul, whose name changed to Paul, okay? Well, so Romans. And this is in chapter 10, verse 15b. Wait a second, why is there a B there? Well, that B means that this is the second part of the verse. So there's a little bit more that comes before this in verse 15, but I just want us to learn the second part. Okay, we're not going to worry about the first part, just the second part. All right, so it's Romans chapter 10, verse 15b. All right, then let's read it together. So, as it is written, how beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news. Romans chapter 10, verse 15b. All right, boys and girls, so we read through it once. Now let's talk about what it means. So, as it is written. Okay, so this was written in the Bible, right? It's in the New Testament. The book of Romans is found in the New Testament. But it says, as it is written. So that means that this sentence that comes next was written before Paul wrote it down in the book of Romans. This part of the verse, the part that's in quotation marks, that part of the verse is also written in the Old Testament. Now, the people in the New Testament, their Bible was just the Old Testament. They didn't have the New Testament yet because it was being written while they were alive. So they didn't have the New Testament yet. They only had the Old Testament. So, when it says, as it is written, Paul is quoting the Old Testament. This verse is found in the book of Isaiah in the Old Testament as well. All right, so Paul is quoting something that the prophet Isaiah said in the Old Testament. So that's why it says, as it is written. Because this was written before in the Old Testament, and he's repeating it again in the New Testament. All right? So let's see what it is that Paul is repeating. That Isaiah already said. How beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news. Okay, how beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news. Okay, I have a few questions. What good news do you think they're talking about? Good news. What could be the good news? Do you think it might be the gospel? Do you think it might be about how Jesus can save us from our sins? Yeah, that's good news. That's the best news ever. That's great news. Okay, so I think they're talking about how beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news. Okay, so who brings good news? Christians, right? Missionaries. And remember, you don't have to go far away to be a missionary. You can be a missionary in your neighborhood. But you can tell people about Jesus. Okay, so those who bring good news, those are Christians, people who tell others about Jesus. All right, how beautiful are the feet? Okay, do you think that literally means that their feet are just really beautiful? I don't think it literally means that their feet are really beautiful. Like you look at their feet and you're like, whoa, those feet are so beautiful. I don't think it's quite like that. But it's describing how someone who brings the good news, like how beautiful and wonderful it is that they are doing that. That's what the verse is saying, that it is beautiful and it is good and it's wonderful for us to bring good news to other people. That's what it's saying. Does that make sense? I think it does. Let's read through it again and see if everything we just talked about makes sense. All right? All right, Romans chapter 10, verse 15b. As it is written, okay, so this was said before, back in the Old Testament, in the book of Isaiah, how beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news. All right, so how beautiful it is that Christians or missionaries bring the gospel. That makes sense. That's awesome. So that's what the verse is saying, boys and girls, that we should be bringing the good news of Jesus to other people. And it mentions feet in this verse because sometimes you have to move, right? You have to walk over to someone to tell them about Jesus. So that's why it talks about feet. All right? So let's go over the verse again. We'll do some repeating back and forth to practice memorizing it. All right, so I'll point to me when it's my turn. I'll point to you when it's your turn. Here we go. Romans chapter 10, verses 15b. Good. it is written, how beautiful are the feet. Good. Of those who bring good news. Great. Good job, boys and girls. All right, let's repeat it again. All right, let's repeat it again to make sure we got it down. All right, let's start again. I'll point to me when it's my turn, point to you when it's your turn. Romans chapter 10, verses 15b. Good. As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news. Good. Great job, boys and girls. Okay, now I'm going to put a couple of the phrases together, so it's longer phrases for us to repeat back and forth. All right? Here we go. Romans chapter 10, verses 15b. As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news. Awesome! Now let's read it together one more time. Here we go. Romans chapter 10, verses 15b. As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news. Excellent, boys and girls. All right, you are on the right track. You are going to have this verse memorized down pat by Friday. Excellent work today, my Jedi, my young Jedi. Very good. And I will see you later. Keep practicing. You got this.